The Maya understood time as cycles, but every cycle has a moment where it speeds up, where change no longer comes slowly, but all at once. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Some exciting news. 2 comets are entering our solar system this April. It's rare for one comet to enter. Now we have 2 comets entering in the same month. And we know in ancient times, comets brought news of war, change, revolutions, and a renaissance. So let's take a look at this because not far back in early 2024, we had the comet Pons-Brooks entering our solar system. Not long after, Trump was elected as President of America. And look at the war and the changes that have happened in the world since then. And this is not just one example. There are a whole lot of examples which we're going to take a look at through history, because esoterically it's known through the ages that comets bring change to the system. The ancient Maya didn't see the sky as random. They saw it as a living calendar. And remember the ancient law, as above, so below. What is equal unto the heavens is equal unto earth. So we need to know that these energies, as subtle as they are, have a huge impact on humanity, which we'll take a look at through some historical events of our past. The first comet to enter this April is Comet Maps. And the Comet Maps is an ancient fragment of a much bigger comet, so something ancient that is entering our solar system. So this comet, being much smaller, as it passes the sun, is really volatile. There's a chance that it could explode or burn up at that point. And again, this is going to release these cosmic dust particles into our atmosphere. Following Comet Maps is Comet PanSTARRS. And this comet's going to enter our solar system from about the 20th of April and through some of May. And this comet is a longer lasting comet, so it's going to have a much bigger impact and maybe even be a bit more visible. Scientists always say that the comets come from the Oort Cloud or from the Kuiper Belt. So let's dive into history and take a look how comets have changed the world over the centuries. And remember, the comet's dust stays around for many years after the comet's appearance. So let's take a look at this. Also, we're going to take a look at some predictions of what these comets will bring, and then also predictions of man's future. Let us start with the Great Comet of 44 BC. So in 44 BC, a bright comet appeared in the sky shortly after the death of Julius Caesar. In the years that followed, Rome entered a period of instability and civil war. Within less than 2 decades, the Roman Republic came to an end, and by 27 BC, the Roman Empire had emerged under Augustus. A political system that had lasted centuries was replaced. Halley's Comet. In 1066, the comet was recorded in the sky, what we now know as Halley's Comet. That same year, the Norman Conquest of England took place. William the Conqueror seized power, replacing the Anglo-Saxon ruling class. In the years that followed, England's language, laws, and power structures were fundamentally transformed. An entire nation was reshaped within a single generation. In 1517, recorded in the Florentine Codex, in the years just before the arrival of the Spanish in Mesoamerica, records describe a flame in the sky, a burning sign seen above the land. Within just a few years, beginning in 1519, the Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire unfolded. Over the following decade, entire civilizations collapsed. The Great Comet of 1680. In 1680, one of the brightest comets of the early modern era appeared. This was a time when scientific observation was beginning to expand. In the years that followed, astronomy and natural philosophy accelerated, helping lay the foundation for Enlightenment. Humanity's understanding of the cosmos began to shift. In 1744, a remarkable comet appeared, visible with multiple tails. In the decades that followed, Enlightenment ideas spread across Europe. Concepts of reason, liberty, and human rights gained momentum, setting the stage for revolutionary change. In 1769, another bright comet appeared during a time of rising social and economic tension. Over the next 20 years, that tension continued to build until 1789, when the French Revolution erupted. Monarchies were challenged, power structures collapsed, and the modern political world began to take shape. The Great Comet of 1811. In 1811, a comet remained visible in the sky for months. In the years that followed, the Napoleonic Wars reached their peak, Conflict spread across Europe, reshaping borders and power. It was a time of widespread instability, transitions and global tension. In 1986, Halley's Comet appeared again, this time during the early stages of the digital age. In the years that followed, personal computers spread rapidly. Companies like Microsoft and Apple rose to prominence. And soon after, the foundations of the internet were established. The digital world began to emerge. And also let us remember, 1987 was the Great Awakening of the 144,000. And I've made a video on this if you want to check it out. In 1987, we had the appearance of comet Hale-Bopp, one of the most visible comets in modern history. In the years that followed, the internet expanded globally. Modern phones became widespread. By the late 2000s, smartphones emerged, followed by social media platforms that reshaped how humanity communicates. The world became connected. And as I've mentioned before, in early 2024, another comet appeared, Pons-Brooks. At the same time, the world was already entering a period of instability and rapid change. Not long after, Donald Trump was elected again, and since then, the pace of change has continued to accelerate. Artificial intelligence has advanced rapidly, and global systems are beginning to shift. So these are just a few comets that have affected change and revolutions on this planet. Below in the description box, I've listed all the comets over the last 500 years and the changes that have followed, so take a look at it. Throughout history, comets have brought change to humanity. And how does this really work? So these comets enter our solar system from the Oort Cloud or from the Kuiper belt. So as they come into our solar system and revolve around the sun, that is when they become exceptionally bright, and sometimes that is when they burn up. But it's when they become bright and their tail already starts burning that it's releasing these dust particles into the solar system. These dust particles that make its way down to planet Earth. These dust particles that are shifting things, not only within the entire solar system, but here on our Earth, as above, so below. What are these revolutionary changes that we can expect now that we have two comets entering our solar system in the same month? Well, it's really going to be interesting because the pace of things are going to accelerate, and this is really what it does. It's an evolutionary process that speeds up time. Even scientists are confirming now that time is going to speed up. So what changes will it bring? What will the impact of these two comets be on our little planet? Well, it's going to be revolutionary. We can already see what's happening, the two wars that are taking place. So firstly, it might seem obvious, but there will be a landing on the moon. Will it be the first landing? They speak about landing on the moon 50 years ago, but why haven't you landed on the moon in all this time? You could have used it as a base. So there's obviously something much bigger going on. There are already bases on the moon, as we know, especially on the dark side. Many, many secret things that are concealed from humanity. And this is going to be revealed in good time because the first moon base will start to be assembled within the next few years. And this is going to happen really, really quickly. I'm not sure why they focused on Mars first when the moon was sitting here all the time. And it's obviously there's some reason, something else that's hidden on the moon. And these are other bases of extraterrestrials and other beings. And then we know with AI, AI is a revolution on its own, a renaissance, changing the world as we know it forever. Not only in terms of art and videos, but in terms of medicine. So an acceleration with the cures. So there are going to be some great discoveries in terms of medicine, the cure for many, many diseases, discovering why diseases happen, solutions to many of the diseases, genetic cures, and other cures for so many of these problems that humanity has. It's going to be a revolution. And remember, anti-aging. So they're going to find many ways to approach this aging problem. In other words, how to stop the aging process and how to reverse the aging process. Could it be that within the next 5 to 10 years that they discover how to slow and possibly reverse the aging process? Well, I think we're on that threshold at the moment. And we know with the war, governments will fall, new powers will rise. So there is a whole shift of powers that are taking place within our reality. Watch the news for updates. And more importantly, When the comets enter our solar system, it starts to affect our internal mechanisms, our spiritual bodies, our emotions, our mental body. So this is a period of alignment and a period of awakening. So they say there are star seeds that are asleep. When the comet comes in, it's almost as if those programs activate within one's consciousness. So basically changing one's life. The old life you were leading dies away and a new life is born. And this is really what happens. And people awaken at different periods of time. So this is a really exciting time to align, to awaken and expand one's consciousness intuitively and psychically as the space age dawns, because what is really happening is there's an acceleration of our evolutionary process to bring about this space age. And there's going to be a cutoff point that will break away from the old age going into the new age. And I'm going to make an entire video on this because I'm going to show you how a comet is going to change everything on the face of this planet. If you like videos like this and you want to see this video in the future, hit that notification button, subscribe and leave a comment in the section below.